What's going on, team? Austin Lewis here, coming to you guys with the legend sitting next to me here to the right. You guys already know who this is, though, but this is Mr. Zaback with me here. We back the
A&A show.
A&A show, baby. We got the man, the myth, the actual legend.
Yeah.
Zaback said he wanted me to not do that, but we're not going to change it up. We're going to send it, baby.
Yeah. I told Lewis, I said, hey, everybody can't be the man, the myth, the legend. I said, at some point, you know what I mean? We got to have somebody else.
My Rolodex of legends.
Cody Barton's the last man, the myth, the legend.
Cody Barton's the last, the man, the myth, the legend.
Which is who we have
Everybody
here.
else is going to get offended with that, but that's okay.
It's all good.
That's all right. Cody Barton, welcome to the A&A show,
Cody,
my brother.
What's up,
dude,
guys? Happy to be here.
Thanks for being on here, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
We're excited to dive into it, man.
This is going to be cool.
Hey, for those of you guys that don't know, Cody Barton's he's the man. Austin Lewis, I mean, that was a good edification. But you know what? We all come from the background of network marketing, man. And you got to, they say to edify, baby. So Cody Barton is the freaking man, okay? This guy, I've known this guy for a really long time, and probably like 7 or 8 years. Like, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And we did network marketing together.
We
did all kinds of stuff together. His cat was making like 6 figures, okay? That's $100,000 a year. When he was in his freaking teens, okay, like 18 or 19 years old. You were young.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of fun. So he's the man, and it's really cool, man. Watch you grow over the years. You know, we've all gone like different directions. Different directions, but the same direction all at the same time. And now it's really cool to see everybody.
Yeah.
So, and Austin, I mean, you guys have now, because I've known you now for 4 years.
Yep, 4 years.
So I mean, you know, this is probably like we've known you the longest out of any guest we've had on the show.
Really?
Yeah,
Probably, I would say.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome. So it'll be fun to dive into this one.
Absolutely,
for sure. Maybe just start by. Go ahead.
I apologize, Mr. Zaback here. What we tend to do here on the A&A show, just so you can have an idea, Cody, of what Austin and I kind of like, you know, what we want to give the viewers, right? So the guys and the ladies that are watching right now, they're like, you know, I'm used to you guys doing it a certain way, and we're going to keep doing it that certain way, because honestly, the feedback that we get from these guys, they just love doing it the certain way.
Yeah.
And so kind of how we portray this entire show and what we're going to kind of dive into. Obviously, Austin and I talked to you before the show, but we kind of start with like current, right? We want to know what you're currently doing, and then we kind of like to peel back the onions, peel back the layers. You know what I mean? Peel back the layers on the onions is really what I was trying to say.
You ain't never peeled an onion in your life.
Come on, man, it makes you cry.
Yeah.
So we like to see like what does Cody Barton's life look like right now? And I'm talking like pinpoint that sucker. You know what I mean? What you do, obviously you're in real estate and absolutely murdering the real estate game, which we've had quite a few guests on the A&A show that have actually been murdering the real estate game.
All in different areas. Too.
All in different areas, which is amazing.
And Cody's area is going to be real interesting. So if you're watching live, you can't be watching live, okay? But if you're watching, smash that subscribe button.
That's
This
right.
is going to be a
Give
good
us
one.
a thumbs up, because we're going to share this video with as many people
5-star review.
possible. Yeah, that's
you
right.
know.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Twitcher.
But yeah, let's start. Let's rock and roll, Cody. You know, Cody's 25, right? 25 years old.
25.
And absolutely murdering it. You know, from what I know, you're doing wholesaling, you're doing subject twos, you're doing fix and flips, like you've got a full team. Just absolutely dominating the business in a pretty short period of time from what I've kind of watched and witnessed, right? I mean, you went from being a real estate agent and kind of doing that.
Which is the wrong move.
For you, right? And I would love to dive into that too. Yeah, I would love to dive into why that was. But then you got into what you're doing now. And I mean, again, I don't know the exact time frame, but like just went from zero to hero, like murdering it. So like, what is it that you do now? And what does that look and feel like?
Yeah, so I guess like kind of like the dynamic of what our business looks like today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so pretty much, so it's myself and then my partner Pace, obviously. So since the beginning of last year, we started doing some deals together. We fully partnered at the beginning of last summer. So it really hasn't been that long. And, we wholesale properties, we're doing everything that everyone else is doing as far as marketing. We have cold callers, we have, texters doing texting. So what our operation looks like right now is like we have 7 full-time cold callers are calling 7 days a week. Like we're hitting it every single day of the week. We have 2 texters full-time. We have a lead manager full-time as well. And then we have 4 acquisition people, 1 disposition person for our wholesale deals, and we have another dispositions for our subject to deals, plus also our lease options, because we hold a lot of our properties. So we disposition some of those with lease options. We also are doing fix and flips. So, we're flipping a couple of properties a month, doing fix and flips, and then, we're wholesaling, anywhere from a dozen to 20 properties on a monthly basis, pretty much just here in Phoenix. We're starting to branch out to other markets, but primarily in Phoenix. So that's what our operation looks like today. And that's our primary focus right now.
Wow. Sweet, dude.
Really humble. because I don't know if you guys caught that, but he's doing quite a bit. So I'm excited to dive into like exactly how you were able to do that. You know, what that logistically looks and feels like, because that's a lot of people, right? That's a big team. I mean, from 7 cold callers, right, to, you know, the different acquisitions people, the dispositions people, the lead managers, you know, obviously you and Pace, you know, there's a lot of moving pieces. And for anybody watching and listening, I mean, I don't know about you, but we've struggled with people has always been, and I think everybody, right, like over the years, you know, at least for us, like the one thing that we're like, okay, we've got everything dialed in except for the people. You know what I mean? It's the hardest part, right?
Personalities and the management and, you know, the baggage that
the negativity, right? The gossip, you know, and it's really hard to find just good quality people that want to come, show up every day, put in the work.
Good attitude,
right?
Motivated.
And then building that out, you know, and we were talking a little bit before the show, right? And being the entrepreneur, paving the way, and what does the job description look like, and creating the systems and processes and procedures, and like, okay, like there's a lot to do, right? So I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a really good one.
I got a couple questions real quick, Cody, just because based on like some of the feedback that Austin and I kind of go based off the A&A show. You know, we have a lot of real estate people that actually watch our show. And a lot of people that want to get into wholesaling, a lot of people that, you know, want to start building a team, a lot of people that want an operation, I mean, pretty similar to yours. So what advice would you give to or what is your current, like, obviously you guys are murdering, you know, wholesaling, you guys are murdering subject twos and the lease options and things like that. You got 7 individuals that are full-time cold calling 7 days a week. Now, is that like, they're working 7 days a week?
No, it's a little bit, there's 2 of them that are working the weekends, and then the other 5 are working during the week.
Got it. And are they on salary? Are they on commission? Or they are on hourly?
Those are VAs, right? Okay, got it. Cool. And when you say VAs, just to clarify for the viewers and listeners, I've talked to a lot of people that have VAs, but their VAs are like in the U.S. In just like a minimum wage, like
Nick and Octavius have.
Exactly. Like Tennessee, like Kentucky. You know what I mean?
Lower wage.
It's like I think minimum wage in this place like $7.25. Something like that.
Cheap.
So are you in the U.S. then, or are you virtual like international?
We're international. Okay. So our VAs are between the Philippines and then Colombia.
Got it.
So we have 2. I actually didn't break down our whole team, but we have, you know, I have a couple transaction coordinators that are here local, but then we have 2 VAs in Colombia, and then the other 7 cold callers are in the Philippines.
Got it. Okay.
And sorry,
go ahead.
But have you struggled with how did one Filipino, right, VA? How did that turn into 7? Like, how did you get that one, and you just rocked it, or what? Because I mean, in my past experience, I mean, connecting with the VA and trying to kill it with him, I mean. I got a better chance of the.
I mean, can I curse on this? Or? Shit show. It's a shit show. Like, that's what it was. The beginning of the VAs. Like I went through a dozen, and you know, ones that would be working for me, but also working for someone else to make double the money during the same hours that they're working.
Got it.
You know, so I went through that.
Can't monitor it.
You know, then for some reason. In the Philippines, like I had so many VAs that would have health issues. Like I guess their healthcare is really, you know, not up to par out there, so they struggle with that. But constantly, it's like, oh, like my family member has this health condition, I can't work today, or this or that. So, you know, that was a challenge. So. It wasn't like, you know, oh yeah, they all just got on board and you know, all great from the start. You know, it was kind of a nightmare for the, you know, but now it's been a year of kind of like working through hire, fire, but creating those systems as they were getting hired, so that once I hired another one, I was able to plug them in and, you know, go through the training videos, the modules, and,
the systems. If you're taking notes, write that down. I'm the standard operating procedure. You know what I mean? That is an SOP. That'll change your life, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. So that's at the top, right? So in my opinion, the way that I'm looking at it is, okay, you got these VAs at the top, right? And then they're dialing, like they're just like outputting and just get like all this data, right? And then from there, you're kind of funneling, because you have a couple different acquisition strategies, right? It's like, okay, you could take it down as a wholesale deal. It could be a flip, or it could be like a subject to.
Yeah, or a seller carry. We do a lot of creative shit. Like we have a we call it a hybrid. I mean, this is like for another video. I mean, you could probably watch like Pace has some videos explaining through on YouTube some of the creative deals we do, but you can do a hybrid between a subject to and a seller carry, where like you take over the existing loan that's there subject to, But if there's so much equity there that they want more money, you're able to then, create a new note. I mean, that's going to like
over people's head. It almost went over my head. I'd have to think about it a little bit. Like I gotta
it's a lot.
I gotta imagine the paperwork.
We do a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. But you know what? Hey, money's in weird shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Because everybody, probably a lot of people watching are wholesaling. Yeah. But it doesn't occur to people all the time that there's more to that, and so. I mean, we do it, right? Everybody does it. But before you get creative, you're like, all this shit is falling through the cracks, right? Where you're like, you're making these offers and the seller's like, no, like I can't make that work. And you're like, okay, like, see ya, and it's like, well, you probably just left like 10 grand on the table every time that happens, right?
Yeah. There's deals out there. I mean, for those of you that are wholesaling or even realtors, I mean, what it came down to is we wanted to find the best possible solution for a seller. We wanted to figure out what is it that can actually solve the seller's problem. So we took it from, okay, if the lead isn't in dire pain, but they are motivated and the equity maybe isn't there, we try to run it through. Can this be a subject to deal? Can this be a seller carry? Can this be a wholesale? Like we look at it in all areas and see how can we convert this opportunity into something. That's what we're really looking at, is find the best use. That's what we look at every lead. Best use for this lead.
I love it. Yeah, that's super cool. I like that a lot. So are you determining that? So they come in and then you have like this filtration system, quote unquote, that you guys like, this lens of which you look at the data or the lead, right? Are you determining what it's going to be for you on the appointment? I know your partner. So for those of you guys that don't know, his partner's name is Pace. I don't actually really know Pace too well, but from what I've heard, obviously we run in the same circles. Like phenomenal dude, great in the seller's house, right? From everything that I've heard, like you get Pace at a, and again, based on pure speculation, but you get him at a dinner table, he closes a deal, right? So does he know going into that appointment, like what route like you guys want to go, or does he determine that at the dinner table?
Yeah, so he basically, he's not really running as many appointments anymore. Like he'll still go on maybe a few a week, but now he's getting kind of pushed out of that and doing other things like raising private capital for flips that we're doing and subject to deals that we're doing, and we're doing some mobile home development projects too. So he's kind of diverting some of his time to that now, but basically. When he would go into an appointment, like our team would set the appointment, his plan is to go to that, and then based on whatever that lead's motivation is, if it could be a subject to or if it could be a wholesale deal, I'll run the numbers and underwrite it, and then I'll put basically in his calendar, if it's a subject to deal, here's where you want to be. If it's a wholesale deal, here's where you want to be, and he just looks at that and goes into the appointment and does his thing. So he just knows where he needs to be, and then he figures it out from there of how to structure the deal.
I love it. Which brings me to a question really quick, Lewis, which I bet you're thinking the same thing. When you guys came, so beginning of last summer, you and Pace came together. What was it when you sat down like, okay, this is my role, and this, I think a lot of people watching, even us at times, and all the like. People always wonder, like, okay, I'm going to get into business with somebody, which is like marrying somebody. I mean, at the end of the day,
I think it's even more. It's almost more important.
It's insane, right? Like, there's, and there's a lot of money at stake and all these different things. So, because if we've found this out the hard way, right? But if your roles aren't clearly defined, then
there's a lot of overlap.
And it can create problems, right? It can create like
I thought you were gonna do this and you didn't do that, and I did this and we both did that. It's like so.
Sometimes two people are they're good at the same thing. It's like, so one guy's got to learn something new, and so like, what did you guys do in the beginning, and then what does that look like now, and like, how did that transition? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, was it clearly defined of like, he's going to do this and you're going to do this?
Yeah. So, I mean, the way that we met was he was on Steve Trang's show, and I got my business to a point where I was generating a lot of leads, but I wasn't closing at the ratio that I was wanting to. I'm like, I'm not as good at closing as I'd like to be. So I'm like, how do I fix this? And so I watched him on Steve Trang's show, and he was talking about how he's like one of the best closers in town. And I'm like, well, I have leads, like maybe I should hit this guy up. So I literally, he gave his number out on the show. I texted him. I was like, hey, Pace, just wanted to reach out to you. Saw you on Steve Trang's show. Thank you so much. I wanted to see if I could maybe bring you some value, bring you some leads to see if you can close these deals. I don't want to make any money from them. I don't care if I make money. I want to learn. I want to become better myself. And in exchange, like, I want to bring you these opportunities. So that was the text. It wasn't like, hey, help me out, or it was let me give you. Like, and that's, to people that are watching the show, if you are trying to get something, you need to lead with value first. Like, that's the most important thing.
Right there.
People are too many people are takers. They just want to take and be freaking just suck
leech.
all
They
the
want to leech.
They want to leech.
They
want to just steal and take and take and take.
Write this down, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of the most important things, and that's what Pace told me. You know, we've talked about it
in
since
retrospect.
then. He's like, dude, he's like, why I responded to you is like, you weren't a leech that was just trying to take from me. He's like, you were trying to provide for my family. You were trying to bring me value. So that was how I reached out to him, and then, you know, we met up, and I put together my best leads that I had and the ones I was having trouble with, and we got a contract by that weekend, and then 3 more within the next 2 weeks, and I was like, wow, like this is great. So like I just kept like spending more on lead gen and bringing leads to him, and we just, you know, it
naturally evolved. Yeah.
So we did that, and
got it.
It was funny because, you know, about 2.5, 3 months into doing that, he's like, well, you know, if in like 2 more months, like we don't hate each other's guts, why don't we partner?
Yeah. Sure. And it just worked out. I love it.
Yeah.
And it turned into what it is today, which again, I was just doing some math in my head, but I mean, not quite a year.
No.
Yeah. I mean, so like 8 to 10 months, like give or take.
Yeah.
It's like a lot's happened. Like I've watched it. Obviously, I got you up on the screen here for everybody watching, for everybody listening. It's Cody Barton Official on Instagram. But I mean, a lot has happened in 8 or 10 months.
Yeah.
You know, which is like really cool to watch. So so then from the sound of it, you were more of the systems guy.
Yeah, integrator vision. Like, have you guys read Rocket Fuel?
Mm-hmm. We read Traction, which is like really
Traction
similar.
Is like Traction is like the steroided out version of like building like this $10 million company. Okay. So like Traction's a great book, but Rocket Fuel was the best book I read all last year.
Really interesting.
Rocket Fuel,
even better than Traction.
Better.
Like, cause it's more of a it's relatable.
It talks about Rocket Fuel it's more so it's talking about like the relationship with you, and it's like visionary integrator. Mm-hmm. Those are like the 2 key relationships to be able to take, like Steve Jobs and then Wozniak was his partner.
Yeah, I think it was.
So Steve Jobs was the visionary, Wozniak was the integrator.
100%.
So it's like you have the visionary. So like in mine and Pace's relationship, he's the visionary. So he'll come up with these great ideas, and like part of the integrator's job is to like kind of filter through those. Like, I don't like that idea. I don't like that one. This is a great idea. I'm gonna help work on this. Like they, you know, so visionaries are coming up with great ideas. Integrators' job is to make sure those ideas come to reality. And so in Rocket Fuel, it basically talks about, you know, the relationship between those two, and where the visionary should be spending their time, and where the integrator should be spending their time, and that, you know, mutual respect for each other, where it's like,
which is big.
Yes. And it's really like, there's not one person that's more important than the other. It's like, both of them coming together creates the rocket fuel.
Because ego could really quickly get in the way of that. What you see in a lot of relationships, because money, right? So all of a sudden, the guy that's making the call, the guy that's closing the deals, you know what I mean? He's like, man, I'm driving the deal, right? But you know, and maybe that's right and maybe it's wrong, but really it's probably neutral. It isn't right or wrong.
Well, it's like, it's not right or wrong, or it's, you know, it's like this thing where it's like, the integrator's job is to help have a system that brings leads in for then the visionary to be able to close those leads.
It's like apples to oranges.
Yeah, it's like you can't really compare one or the other being better or worse. It's just, you know, it's 2 different roles that are happening. And so, and that was one thing, you know, when me and Pace started working together, is he's like, look, like you're going to have to look at this as like, people are going to look at Pace as the one that's making all of it happen. Because I'm behind the scenes. And so it's like, it's like the back end. It's like making sure that everything is actually running and operations are happening, and you know, the business is moving along. But so it's like, it's having that healthy respect that, you know, I know that's not the way that he looks at it. You know, we have a really, you know, strong respect for each other and in our roles, and you know, we just kind of help each other stay within where our strengths are.
I like that.
I love it.
Now, since we're on the subject of talking about partners and stuff like that, I mean, obviously Pace is a little bit older than you are. Well, I mean, is there anything that you guys do outside of just like the business
that's good
area? Like, do you guys hang out? Do you guys go grab a cigar? Do you guys drink a glass of scotch? You guys play pool? Like, what do you got? You know what I mean?
That's actually a funny question. Yeah, so, Pace doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's LDS, so, you know, it's not been his thing, but you know, he's a workaholic. So I mean, pretty much like I am, and like we all are, right? A lot of time, you know, he spending time with his family, but you know, we like go, like our fun is like we like do our meeting, and then we'll like go out to lunch or go around town and you know, just cruise around town. I mean, try finding him like spending a day doing anything besides kind of working is very hard. Going golfing. That's he likes golfing.
He's a golfer.
So, yeah.
Are you're better at golf than I am. I mean, you're a decent golfer.
I'm decent. Yeah. So we'll go to that. Like he has, the membership of the Mesa Country Club. So we'll go there every now and then.
For sure.
So
you look like a golfer. Have I ever told you that?
Yeah. He does look like.
Yeah, he does look like a golfer.
We'll see him on the PGA Tour, ladies and gentlemen.
He'll be at the Phoenix Open next year.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll be there too. Cool. I'll just have a beer in my hand.
So he'll have a beer, if not 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But so what are your guys' goals right now for the operation that you guys have going on right now? Is your plan to scale? Or are you guys kind of like sitting where you're at? Like you guys are stoked?
Because you said pace is now kind of shifting a little bit, and so
moving
that's
into a
interesting.
different direction.
Yeah.
What's that look and feel like?
Man, there's a lot going on. So basically, like we're working on just having like our actual direct to seller wholesale operation. Like we want to have that at 12 to 16 contracts a month is where we want to consistently be. Make sure our acquisition people are making money, our disposition people are making money. We want to have a well-oiled machine with that. Pace is going to be doing some coaching on creative finance and coming out with some content on that. And then we want to be raising a lot more money to do other deals. We're doing some development projects with mobile homes. So we're buying lots and doing some lot splits and placing some mobiles on those. So doing that. And then we want to build our hold portfolio. We have, with a couple other partners, we have 30 properties that we're holding long-term together. And then me and Pace have a student rental together by ASU. And then we're with Matt Beard, we're buying a triplex in North Phoenix together this month. So we're looking to build our rental portfolio and have a very strong cash flow coming in from that, and to make sure we have a really stabilized portfolio with good tenants. And so that's one of our biggest goals, is growing that out, having a successful wholesale operation, and then doing some of the doing more creative finance stuff. Pace will do some more coaching on that end, and then doing JV deals in other markets. We're starting to
Have
expand.
you started to do that?
Yeah, so we're starting to do some deals in Atlanta, in Houston, Orlando. Those are kind of the main areas that we're starting to do some deals in. Yeah. Eventually, we're going to open up Atlanta for a market for us to start wholesaling in, direct to seller as well. So those are some of the things, and Pace is traveling around the country.
With Jamil a lot.
Pace and Jamil do America.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so.
How did that whole thing? We had Jamil on the show. I don't know if you saw, but I don't think we asked Jamil how that whole thing happened. The Pace and Jamil do America deal.
Well, dude, Pace and Jamil, they're like best friends.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just
that's
like
their
thing.
Yeah. So
it's good marketing.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know. They're both visionaries. So it's like they're they get a have their their friendship and their families hang out together. Like Jamil and Natalie will go hang out with Pace and Laura and the kids and all that. So they have a really good relationship. So
that's good.
So I just had a question just based off of like some of the things that you shared with me. I just realized my mic's all fuzzy from some white stuff, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think the deal got dirty in here or something.
The deal got dirty in here or something. So if you're on something, screenshot it and zoom in at my face right now.
Exactly.
Anyways, let's jump into this. So you said you guys are copping some triplexes and some other the deals with some other partners. Just out of curiosity, why is that? Why don't you and Pace just go take down that triplex rather than bringing somebody else on? Because you talk to a couple of individuals. I mean, too many hands in the cookie jar kind of gets a little bit interesting. You know what I mean?
So basically, I mean, and we depends on the deal, but typically we're not wanting to partner with people on long-term holds. But in this case, like Matt got the contract with the seller, brought it to us. And it's a deal where we're going to bring the money to the table to purchase it. We're setting up the financing, and he brought the deal to the table.
Okay.
So that's where we're like, all right, we'll do that deal. He'll help manage it. And the last 4 months, I banged my head against the wall setting up a property management software that we could scale up to over 500 holds with the property management software that we have. It's really dynamic and manages the entire process from once we have a property, under contract, and then when we're marketing it to tenants, and then the application, like everything is just super automated. So we can do that, and it's managed very well. Like we have someone that's managing the back end of that now too. So it's like we can get more and more properties as long as they're going to cash flow well. Like it's not really much management from me or Pace.
You don't have to tell me, but is the property management software Podio by any chance on steroids?
No, Propertyware.
Interesting.
Propertyware.
Propertyware. I heard there was a guy. I think you know him. The dude, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's out of Texas somewhere, and he's got like the big warehouse. He has all of his SKU numbers and stuff. It might have been him. It might have been somebody else. I feel like it's him, but he uses like Podio on steroids for property management though, which I'd never heard of until I listened to him.
Yeah. So I think you could probably build out Podio to be at that point. Not to bore everyone to death with like PropertyWare, but like as an integrator, like I kind of nerd out on that where it's like it does the entire process for you. It's like we can literally post up one of our properties that like integrates it with all the websites. So for tenants, the applications are all online through our PropertyWare system. Then once we accept a tenant, our leases automatically get pre-filled out, sent to them. They come back, DocuSign. Right. Then once we have them, we have an inspector that goes and does pictures of the property. We have like a 1-800 number for emergencies for, because who wants to get a call from a, for a plumbing
issue
at midnight?
That's the number one thing you
That's
hear,
why
right?
people complain. It's like, we ain't getting those calls. We have a 1-800 number.
So where's that number get dialed into, bro?
I don't know. That's, that's someone on our team that handles it.
For sure.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. So, I think that's the biggest thing with that. But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, we're primarily, holding this stuff for ourselves. But if someone brings us a killer deal, it's like,
not going to turn it down, right?
I mean, you guys are super creative.
Super creative. Like,
I mean, however you got to make a deal happen, you guys make the deal happen.
A lot of creativity.
Where there's a lot of people that leave a lot of money on the
which is incredible.
100%.
How have you been able to scale so quickly? So I think a lot of people struggle with scale, right? I think there's a lot of people watching, a lot of people listening that they can go out and do 2, 3, 4, 5 deals a month, and then they just hit this brick wall where they just can't figure it out. And you talk a lot about systems and processes, right? But what does that look like? So many people hear that, and again, it sounds simple to you, but it goes right over their head, and they're like, well, what does that mean? Is that a Google freaking spreadsheet? Is that like a Google Doc? Like what are they doing? Is there a website that they can go to? Is there like a template that they can start building systems and processes from? Or like, you know what I mean? What would you recommend?
Trainual.com. I need to get an affiliate link. Message me. I don't have one, but I need one. I need one. Trainual.com.
Interesting. Okay.
That's our entire business is built out on there.
Interesting. And that's like you just geek out in there. You just go to war.
Yeah,
and you're
pretty
just
much. I mean, like you can build it out like for every like acquisitions department. You can literally have it where it's like, all right, your new acquisitions, this is what Podio is. This is what it looks like. You could screen record, you can, so you're documenting your process.
Your entire process.
Like the entire business.
So when you're the one doing it in the beginning, you're doing it / documenting it.
Yes.
So like, okay, I did that the right way.
Yes.
Now I'm going to hand this playbook to you and you're going to run with it.
So then when they call me and they say, hey, Cody, what's this? I'm like, well, did you
watch the video?
Did you watch the video?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I didn't watch the video. Watch the video. Even if I could answer the question, it's me doing a disservice to our system that we're building if we're not referring back to what we created. Which it's there for a reason.
Which I love. It's kind of funny. It like all of us will remember it too, but it's like back in the old days, man. Like you know what I mean?
Show them the video.
Did you watch the video?
Did you?
Show them the opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity video. Yeah. You didn't watch the video. I know you didn't. Because you would just know if they had a certain question. You didn't watch a video.
Yeah, you didn't watch a video.
There's no way. They're like, I'll watch a video. No, you didn't. I love it, dude. I love that a lot. I think that is like a big struggle for people. So Trainual.com. We'll have to make sure you hit up Cody Barton in a little while.
Trainual. He'll have an affiliate link for you guys.
We'll plug him here shortly.
For sure.
I love it, bro. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of things to say, but I'm curious on the personal life of things now too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, Cody Barton here, 25 years old, tall, handsome, and skinny.
And a golfer.
Yeah. Drives a Maserati.
Yeah.
Drives a Maserati.
Gran Turismo.
GT. What's life look like for you right now, bro?
Yeah.
Like just personally. You know what I mean? Like you got a girlfriend. Yeah. What do you do for fun? Like what's that life look like, dude? You guys are freaking murdering it. What do you do with all your money, bro?
Yeah.
It goes all into more deals.
It's all relative, right?
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah. So I have a girlfriend, and that's great. It's like kind of helps balance me out, and it's kind of nice to have like someone that's a rock to be able to go and like, especially being an entrepreneur, like you're just hit with problems all day. Like that's you're putting out fires, like making sure that things are going smooth, and so it's nice to have someone to spend time with. So have a girlfriend. I've had that. I bought the Maserati Gran Turismo last summer, and that's been a blast to have. And so but
so what do you do with your girlfriend out of curiosity? Like what are some, I think entrepreneurs struggle with that too, right? Like what, I struggle with that. I'm like, we have this conversation all the time. Like, what do normal people do for fun?
Yeah.
And we'll just stare at you. And by the time that we think it through, it's time to go to bed. It's well, we'll figure it out tomorrow.
We watch Netflix.
Yeah. We finally went and bought Nerf guns. We're like, okay, maybe we could just go to Walmart, buy some Nerf guns. We had a Nerf gun war.
Have fun.
Lasted like 20 or 30 minutes. And now the Nerf gun's sit in a drawer.
Like, we're over it.
So what do you do with it? Like, you got to movie, do you have a set schedule? Like, hey, we're going to hang out like once or twice a week, or is she more like integrated into like the life? You know what I mean?
She's integrated into the life. Okay. But I mean, like, we'll go to the movies. Like, we went and saw 1917 this last weekend on
good?
Friday. Dude, it's really good.
Really?
Yeah, super.
I haven't heard of
good.
it.
It's a war movie.
Saw it in Seattle.
So I like war movies.
Well, we didn't see it.
We saw the deal.
I saw the Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, that was good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, that was good. I liked the first two. Like, gosh. But that was good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys go out and like,
so
you hang out.
Go to the movies. Like, a couple weekends ago into Sedona for the weekend. Just
everybody goes to Sedona, man.
Dude, it's nice.
People listening that don't live in Arizona.
Still have not been up there.
You've never been to Sedona?
No. I mean, I've driven into Lambo with you to Sedona, but that was about it.
We turned around and we had a big fat burger.
Yeah.
Came right home.
Dude,
it's nice. A couple hour ride. And it's super, super nice and relaxing up there.
Tranquility is the first word that comes to my mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it was. I was like, I need to get the hell away from everything here and go relax for a minute.
So you say she's integrated. What does that look and feel like? I think a lot of people. Yeah, again, I mean, even for me, right? Like, it's like, do you get a girlfriend or a wife that is like, you go left, she goes right in the morning, or do you get somebody who's more? Tony Robbins calls it work-life integration, not work-life balance, right? So does she do wholesaling with you, kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, she's involved with our business now, and I mean, even before that, like, I think it's really about like expectation management. As you're entering in a relationship or as you're starting into a business, it's like. It's like, if you just need to be on the same page. You need to like talk about like, where are you guys trying to go? Like, what do you want to do together? Like, what are your goals? And if those don't align from the beginning, like, you're gonna have problems. It's gonna be rocky. And so like, we had this mutual respect and understanding of like, look, like, I'm building a business. My responsibility is to my team and my partnership and to make sure that this is successful. And I'm working towards having residual income to where I could retire if I want to within the next couple of years. And so that's what's most important to me. So, it was setting that standard up front of like, this is what I'm working on. This is what my focuses are. I refuse to be derailed. It's like Grant Cardone talks about. It's like I will do anything for, he's like, I'll do anything for my wife, but I will never give up on my dreams, and I won't be persuaded out of my dreams. So it's like, that's the attitude that I have. I'm like, I will be there and do anything that I need to do for the relationship, but I am not gonna, pull back on what my dreams are.
That's like the only but. It's like, look, like, this is this is what I had before I got into the deal.
Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. If you want to jump on the ship with me, like, let's roll.
Which benefits everybody, by the way, right? Like, it's like, hey, look, we're gonna buy the G5. You know what I mean? I don't know how big your goals are, but I'm trying to buy. By that time, it'd be a G6 or G7. They're coming out with the G7, dude, in 2022 or 2023. G700, man. You know what I mean? I love it, dude.
What's your relationship with your family, bro?
It's good. I mean, my parents are super supportive. I mean, I have a small family, so my sister lives in Vegas. Her and her boyfriend actually did their first flip the last few months ago.
Sick.
So that was cool.
Did they get it from you guys?
No, they did it in like, I don't know, someone sent out Kansas or I don't know, some other market. Probably the wrong. Kentucky.
Got it. Okay.
That's where he's from.
That's
where he's from. So.
Interesting.
I love it.
That's kind of funny.
So, and your parents are together?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So parents are together. Good relationship, and
Ron and Tina. Yeah. Good people.
So bring me back here, and this is kind of more on the business too. I'm just genuinely curious, and I'm sure some audience could be too. So a year ago, remember, if you guys got to rewind this video, a year ago, Cody Barton was struggling as a real estate agent. Is that
struggling mentally or struggling financially?
Mentally, not financially.
Yeah. Mentally.
So as an agent, I was starting to build out a team as an agent, and I was really in a point where I was at a crossroad. I was like, do I keep building this and live unhappy, or do I make a change? And so I ended up making a change. I was so frustrated with the situation because I would go to bed every night unhappy. I woke up every morning with anxiety. I was depressed. I was making money, but I hated it.
I remember this time in your life.
And why is that? Just out of curiosity. What caused that?
I don't like dealing with clients.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't like it.
What puts them in that, because I want to dive into this a little bit, because I think there's people, if you don't mind, there's people that well, first of all, I think a lot of people struggle with anxiety and depression.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that.
But what made the client or the you holding the traditional license, what in your brain made that different than let's just say wholesaling, where you're the buyer?
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, the dynamic was so different. Like where, as an agent, whatever goes wrong in the transaction's your fault. Mm-hmm. Whatever, if it's something, everything out of your control is your fault. You're always wrong. Your clients, use you as their emotional, punching bag throughout the transaction. Yeah. And I had some great clients too. Like I was happy with some, some of the clients I had were great, awesome people. But, for the most part, it's, managing this relationship and the emotions of these sellers. And obviously, like I understand like the levels of agents where I could have, eventually hired them under me to deal with that. But I didn't really want to build that, business. And, there's like, how many people do you know that have built out their traditional team to where they're like, being able to travel and do all these different things. Like more people in wholesale do that in flipping than as a team.
Most of the team leaders, dude, they're locked down, man. They get paid, but it's a high paying job. You know what I mean?
So that's what kind of like, just kind of drew me out of it. And I was just a lot more excited about doing wholesaling and flips and things like that. I was more in control. It's not an emotional decision. It's the seller's emotions that you're helping manage, but it's not an emotional decision. It's do the numbers work.
Yeah, for sure.
They either work or they don't work, right?
They do or they don't.
And you can be emotionally involved, but not emotionally attached. And that's what we always talk about here.
Yeah. So would you consider yourself happy now?
No, like
just because you're not dealing with other clients.
Yeah, and like now too, it's like I'm pretty much detached from talking to sellers. Like I don't talk to sellers really ever either, unless there's like a massive problem that I need to jump in and like problem solve, which I'm okay to do that and help the team out. But I don't like talking to sellers, and I don't ever really want to. Like I want to make sure everything else works.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Do you still have anxiety today?
I mean, like it's like anxiety is good and bad. It's because it's bad if it's consuming you to the point where you can't act. But a little bit of anxiety is a little bit healthy to help make sure that you're it's like having a little bit of fear because it kind of pushes you to
makes you mortal, right?
It makes you take the actions and things.
You're here and now.
I heard somewhere it was like a form of dopamine, which is really kind of interesting.
Because I mean, if there was a bear right there, and
you need a little bit of fear,
and you weren't afraid, you know what I mean? It's like, man, that might do you some harm, you almost want to be afraid a little bit.
But on the point of anxiety and depression and these things, like not enough people really talk about that in entrepreneurship. And the sad thing is there's a lot of people that are new getting into entrepreneurship. There's a lot of people that are jumping in and they're excited. And when in a lot of what social media is, like myself, everybody on social media tries to make it look the best it can be, right?
Absolutely.
And so sometimes when people are looking from the outside and they're like, wow, like I'm having problems in my business and I'm stressed out, I'm anxious, I have anxiety, all these deals fell apart, I'm depressed, like I'm on my last dollar, and not enough people talk about that because that's
they
a
think
reality.
they're all alone, right?
They feel like they're alone, and like this is like part of the message. And like I talked, I want to talk about this in any setting that I can to reach people is like, look, like if you're having stress, you're having anxiety, you're depressed, like those are normal things that are going to happen along your journey. And like it's it's part of the journey, and you just have to find things to help. Like I know for me, things that helped me was like I started doing like hot yoga to clear my mind. I started doing meditation. I started doing those things to help kind of ease some of those things, and exercising, eating well. Like if you do, if you're taking care of your body, that'll help a lot. But obviously you're still going to have some of those issues. But
right.
You aren't alone.
It's a journey. It's a journey.
I love that, man.
And everybody goes through it, man. Like if that's one thing I've learned too, it's like you're gonna go. It's just a journey. Everybody focuses on the destination. Like, man, when I get here, then and we've all done it. We've all done it, right? I know you've done it. I've done it. I still do it probably to this day a little bit, right?
I'm the king of doing it.
I'm still like, man, when I get that jet, I'll be happy.
Come on, man.
Dude, every time, like when I like bought the Maserati, I was just like, dude, when I get the Maserati,
exactly. Like this is gonna be it. I know it's never it before, but this is it.
Like I've driven it once in the last month. Like it's like 6 months ago, it was like the coolest thing ever, and now I'm like, I still love the car. It's cool. It's fun. Like it's a good time, but. It's like
it's just a Maserati.
And it's like it's just a car at a certain point. Like
exactly.
It's just like the material things are just a thing. That everything eventually becomes you have anything, it just becomes like, all right.
Like, just gonna become used to it.
Becomes
normal. Becomes normal.
Becomes very normal.
That's something we're used to. I
love it, dude.
Well, should we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, this has been a phenomenal interview. I mean, I guess we can kind of just like like you said, wrap it up. What would be like a couple things, for people, man? Let's do like one. Let's do. I'll do like the overall one. You could do like a business one or something, But like, look, man, like
20 questions, but all wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
It's gonna slam you hard.
This is your last day on Earth. You know what I mean? This is it, right? You got a kid, and you can't. It's your last day. You got to leave him just a tip. A piece of advice. There's one thing. You can only do one thing. You can write it down, and he's gonna see it on paper. What is that, right? But it's it. Just one thing, man. Like what do you tell him? What is it?
That's a hard one. I mean, the first thing that kind of comes to mind is like a quote that I've always like told him, that I heard was like, if it is to be, it is up to me. Like I would like write that down, and then underneath that, be patient.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Be patient.
Like if it is to be, it is up to me. Like you got to look at it like it's all depending on you. Like pray to God, like because it is up to God. But understand that it's up to you. Like the longer version of it's like not being a victim. Like you got to take full ownership, full responsibility. Yeah. All your wins are your fault. Your losses are your fault. Everything in between, and that's what I would want my kids to, grow up as, like taking full responsibility for wins, losses, all of it.
Yeah, just own it.
Yeah, own it.
Just own it. Mm-hmm. I love it. And then be patient too.
Yeah, be patient.
You might elaborating on that just a tiny bit.
Patience is a virtue. I've heard that a couple of times now. Yeah. I'm not really that patient.
Yeah. I'm not patient either. Like every day I'm just like, oh man, I want to
How do you be patient?
Happened yesterday.
You just practice?
Like, I think it's just kind of like the journey, like just respecting the journey and, understanding like the destination is the journey. Like along the, like, if you think about where you're at now, like there was a point in time where all you were wishing for is where you are right now.
Yeah.
And that was your I will be happy win moment.
That was your destination.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, that's where you just have to like,
wow.
Like, but it's a battle. Like I battle. Sure. I'm like, I'm being patient. I'm taking the actions that I need to on a consistent basis day after day. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I want it to happen faster. I want it to happen right now. But I'm just respecting it. Like I'm respecting it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Do you have any final questions, Austin Lewis? We're gonna have to for sure do round 2 with Cody Barton. I know that for sure. Within a month or two, do a part 2. We might even just put in the title right now, part 1. You know what I mean?
Part 1.
Yeah. Because I like where that we could pick up. You know what I mean?
At a time.
Yeah, we could. This is a good one. This is a good interview.
Before we end here, Cody B, are you going for the big B?
The big B.
And I'm talking.
Is that a goal?
Billy.
Billions.
Is that a goal?
I mean, it is. It's not something that I'm thinking about every day. Like I'm just thinking about the next level. Like, at the beginning it was like, how do I get to $100,000 a year?
Yeah.
And it's like once you're at $100,000 a year, it's like how do I get to 200? And how do I get to $250,000? How do I get to $500,000? How do I get to $1 million? So it's like it's kind of like at a certain point, like my goal is obviously living out a purposeful life, and so like. As I get to, making millions of dollars, like if I feel like my purpose is going to be better served by like working towards that, that's kind of like a future. It's like asking future Cody what does 30-year-old Cody wants? I'm not really sure what that looks like yet, So I'm just kind of, looking at that next step. And then like once I'm there, I'm like, what is going to be the best, value for my happiness and for my purpose in life.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll have to pick up there in part 2. I like it. I'm just committed. Cody hasn't agreed to that yet, by the way, guys. So
but he's committed.
He's got to get you committed
for sure.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave you guys, make sure and go like this video if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or something like that, make sure and go.
Stitcher, podcast.
What do they go do?
Dude, I don't know.
Subscribe.
Leave a review.
I don't know. Review 5 stars.
Heart it. Screenshot it.
If you're on YouTube,
send it to us. Mail it to this cat.
Mail it to this cat. If you're on YouTube, definitely go subscribe.
Yeah.
We're bringing some heat here. We got Cody Barton here, the man.
And if you haven't already, it is at Cody Barton Official on Instagram. Is that the best?
Links
the best
are going to be in the description below.
Okay, cool.
His links are going to be in the description below. And go shoot him a DM and tell him where you came from.
Where you came from, and let him know that you want him to be in part 2.
Yeah.
A&A show. Thanks for coming on part 1, bro.
Yeah,
thank you.
You're the freaking man.
Fun,
I love it. All right, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one.